Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to daily news on breaking news on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Subscribe to the channel. Remember, guys, to follow us on all our social media platforms. You're on Instagram, Prince Miller Entertainment, Facebook, Prince Miller Entertainment. We are also available on our Facebook group, which is Prince Miller Entertainment TV. We're available on Twitter. It's a P Miller ENT. Follow us on Twitter. We will follow back. And today is the 27th of October 2021. Welcome new subscribers who are watching us for the first time. Welcome to daily news, everyday news, breaking news. It comes to you guys each and every day, each and every hour, keeping you guys informed about events happening in and around Zimbabwe. And to all our loyal subscribers who have been with us since day one, big up to you guys. So today the United Nations special Rapporteur, and yes, that lady where in Zarkuya, yes, she has been meeting a lot of people lately, and today she have released a preliminary report and on her visit to Zimbabwe, and so I'm just gonna read what she have wrote there, and we're gonna do another video again, tionoti zvimusoro zvanyora your findings anemusoro here kana kuti anongotauro zvanenge angoudzwa nevanhu. And so it is written Zimbabwe expect calls for lifting of unilateral sanctions urges talks, and Geneva 28 October 2021, the UN Special Rapporteur on unilateral coercive measures Alena Dohan called for the lifting of unilateral sanctions against Zimbabwe and urged meaningful structured dialogue on political reform, human rights and the rule of law. Following a 2-week visit to Zimbabwe, the independent expert said that unilateral sanctions and over-compliance with sanctions in their complexity had exacerbated pre-existing social and economic challenges with devastating consequences for the people of Zimbabwe, especially those living in poverty, women, children, elderly, people with disabilities, as well as marginalized and other vulnerable groups. Dohan visited Harare and Bulawayo and held meetings with state officials, members of civil society, trade unions, faith-based organizations, political parties, private companies, and business associations, the diplomatic corps, and other stakeholders. She extends their appreciation for the invitation and active participation of the government, as well as for the collaboration of all parties who actively engaged with her, which enabled her to objectively assess the situation based on the facts presented. Over the last 20 years, sanctions and various forms of over-compliance with sanctions have had an insidious ripple effect on the economy of Zimbabwe and on the enjoyment of fundamental human rights, including access to health, food, safe drinking water, and sanitation, education, and employment. Dohan said this situation also limits Zimbabwe's ability to guarantee the functioning of public institutions, delivery of services, and maintenance of essential infrastructure, and undermines the right to development of the Zimbabwean people, and implies the achievement of the sustainable development goals. She said many companies as well as foreign banks applied zero-risk policies and were overly complained, failing heavy penalties for breaching sanctions. This has suffered inefficient high-cost banking transactions, various challenges in accessing credit lines, and major disruptions in supply chains, which impinge the ability to secure infrastructure, financing, and business continuity. Sanctions are also fueling corruption and money laundering and over-reliance in the informal sector. Dohan said the US and other states should lift their sanctions on targeted individuals and entities and end over compliance. She said the time is ripe for sanction states and key national stakeholders to engage in a meaningful structured dialogue on political reform, human rights, and the rule of law, and abandon everything on sanctions as an advocacy tool. She said The special rapporteur will present here concluding observation in a report to the Human Rights Council in September 2022. So that is here preliminary findings here, and is of the UN special rapporteur and on sanctions. Miss Alena Dohan is she talked about political reform, and she talked about human rights, and the rule of law of Zimbabwe, and so what are many key points that we need to do. And so I went on social media, I did search on how people react on that preliminary report about Kuna Alena Dohan and the United Nations Special Rapporteur, and I did go to Opel's Facebook account. Of course, Opel always, he was one of those people who were actually questioning her credibility and regarding to her previous reports she did in Venezuela and other countries. And so Opel wrote that Alena Dohan, the UN Special Rapporteur on the negative impact of sanctions, had issued a preliminary report on her visit to Zimbabwe. The report is on your screen right now, and I may not agree with everything in it, but as someone who was highly critical of her previous reports, I acknowledge her report's reasonableness. The preliminary report calls for the lifting of sanctions, which is standard language. More importantly, it calls for political dialogue, which leads to reforms. This acknowledges that sanctions will not go on their own. It goes further to advise the stopping of using sanctions as an advocacy tool. That's very important. I think that was what I heard before. We did a video whereby I was talking about the government blaming sanctions on everything, and sanctions, everything the government was always saying sanctions, and he actually said that the government should stop using sanctions as an advocacy tool. It also acknowledged that there is a human rights crisis when she says that political dialogue on reforms should include human rights issues. That's one of the main topics that we always talk about here, human rights abuses. So Opel continued, he actually says she correctly stated that financial institutions avoid sanctions related business in a zero-sum game of protecting themselves. So this is a good start for the ruling party, opposition, civil society, international community, and businesses. She says sanctions should not be used as an advocacy tool as NPF does. That will be a big test to see its seriousness in adopting what Alena Dohan has proposed. More importantly, she also mentioned the need to have dialogue that will deal with the rule of law, that Zimbabwe should engage the Western countries that impose sanctions. No side was going to get everything it wanted. The most important is that the preliminary is the first institutional report that acknowledged the reason for the sanctions, what the sanctions have done, and the solutions to get them removed. And this is what Opel wrote regarding to Alena Dohan preliminary report. He actually saying this is a reasonable preliminary report, because she mentioned most of the big main points that we always talk about: political reforms, economic reforms, and human rights abuses. And again, ekuti urumende irege kungotaura kuti sanctions everything. And so let's hope the government will take this preliminary report serious and turn out what's the way forward regarding to that. And again, dialogue since 2018 dialogue, although kune Poland iripo, but we all know that Poland is just there. Those guys are just there for themselves, and we need a real dialogue. And so let's hope ED will actually reconsider having a political dialogue whereby all parties are involved, and maybe having one international mediator anenge pakati anenge nyaya dzinyazotaura dzese kunzi nyaya dzakati. And saka this is what MDC Alliance they had before in 2018, saying, you know what, we can sit down on the table, but we need an international mediator anenge achitigadzirisa ari pakati achiti gadaiso kuti mimi ndimunogadzira table obva mapa ma-conditions zvakare, and that's why the government end up creating that Poland here. And so guys, we're gonna do another video regarding to this preliminary report yabva kuna UN special rapporteur Alan Dohan. And so this is a daily news on breaking news on Prince Menadetsemi TV. Nangoti tungokurukura 2 minutes, but we're gonna be back here because vanyora zvinhu zvakawanda here that we need to talk about. Nyaya political reforms, nyaya again human rights abuses, which is a very critical one, and nyaya dialogue zvakare. And so ngatitaure in the comment section. Remember guys to like, share and comment. Follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and also on our Facebook group. And so like, share and comment. Preliminary reporting muniona sei, and but chevhurudza yese, and kusvika tanyatsoona kuti zvakamira sema street, what people are thinking about this report. And so this is just a video that we decided to just do for now, but we're gonna be back again here on Audio Thoughts with Prince. Then tonzwa pfungwa dzevanhu kuti vanofungei regarding to this report way. So comment in the comment section. I might read your comment. And so thank you very much for listening and watching. This is a daily news, everyday news on Prince Menadetsemi TV. Remember guys to like, share and comment. Follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and also on our Facebook group, which is a Prince Menadetsemi TV. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Be blessed. Bless up.